Someone You Should Know. A program about people you know and even more that you don't. Hosted by Stuart Sachs, veteran, husband, father, and grandfather. Now, here's your host, Stuart Sachs.
Well, welcome to another edition of Someone You Should Know. I'm very, very glad to have you with us. Everybody's enjoying the summertime. I really hope you are, and I'm glad that you set aside an hour to spend with us this morning because we're going to have a good time. And we are brought to you by Irving Chung. Where did I come up with George? George's my guest. I'll get to that. Irving Chung, who is a franchise consultant. You can reach him at bigconsideration.com. Check it out. If you've ever said to yourself, I'd like to be my own boss, franchising might be the way to go. And it doesn't mean you have to work 7 days a week. You can work part-time from the convenience of your home. Want to know more about it? Contact Irving Chung at bigconsideration.com. And if you need to upgrade your website, you need to upgrade your marketing plan, you just need some answers as to how to be a better person in your business that you already have, you need to reach out to Christine Dean. She is the DFWnetworkingdiva.com. Remember it right there. It's on the screen. DFWnetworkingdiva.com. She can answer all of your questions. The beautiful thing about Irving and Christine, you can go to their websites and you can sign up for a free consultation. No charge. Ask them questions, get directions. They'll help you out. Somebody else that can help you out in several different ways is my guest, George Rodriguez. Good morning, George.
Good morning, friend. Good morning, neighbor.
And I don't want you to be misled, folks. George is not a professional pool boy. It's just that he is actually, if you can believe this, he's talking to us from work. Nice work if you can get it, George.
Thank you.
Just step out of your office onto the back veranda, maybe take a dip in the pool, have a couple of cold drinks.
The jet cooler's inside and the water's about 92 degrees, so all conditions are right.
There you go. Well, George is with Style Publishing here in Frisco, Texas, and they are the publishers of probably one of the most premier magazines that this area has, Texas has. And I mean, from wherever you're watching and listening to this show all over the country, you can go to friscostyle.com and check out the magazine. For those that are in the DFW area, I want to show up the current cover. That is our previous mayor of Frisco, Texas, Mayor Mar Masso, and all, who is an avid dirt biker. And, you think, wait a minute, he's a businessman and he was a former mayor for like 16 years and he loves dirt biking. And he goes all over the Rockies and the Smoky Mountains and everywhere. And you guys wrapped this article around him and just did an incredible job.
Thank you. We have a great editorial team, great creative team. Lisa, our editor, put that together and had a lot of help from his friends and family. Jerry and Stephen Jones came and got some quotes from them, and he was just very instrumental in the Star coming to Frisco, and just an overall a great person.
He is, and I've been here 8 years and was here for the final couple terms, and even from my chair in the radio studio and all, he was so approachable. If I called him up and said, "Hey, listen, are you available next week?" He says, "I'll make time," and he was probably one of the most approachable politicians that I've ever met in my life.
Yeah, he has this aura about him. When you see him at an event, he remembers your name. He's always mingling and just out in the community, and just a great person to know. And Frisco is very fortunate to have had Mayor as our mayor.
Yeah, Mayor.
Great vision.
Mayor.
What are the odds?
So now tell the audience a little your position with Style Publishing.
I'm the director of business development, which really translates into the director of sales for the magazine. And so I have an account executive that I work with, and we're both responsible for the entire advertising revenue for the company, as well as networking, being visible in the community, participating in community activities such as Leadership Frisco, most recently, Class 23, but best class ever, everybody says. City Hall 101, Citizens Fire Academy, 10 city council meetings, just things like that where our name and our brand continues to be visible outside the magazine.
So you outreach to the entire community in all those various areas and all to find out how you can interact with those people, to connect them with the publication.
Right, exactly. From a branding standpoint, from a business development standpoint, a platform for that business to be able to be visible to our Frisco residents.
So one of the key questions that comes up in my mind is the last year and a half was extremely challenging for all businesses, and of course here in northern Texas, the hospitality industry
Yes
is like the premier industry for us and for our revenue flow. And all of a sudden, all the doors were shut because of COVID and all. What kind of challenges did that present for you and your publication?
Well, we remained open. We're media, so we're considered essential. We're all here at the office, and as March was approaching and April, it kind of brought us together in terms of being able to think quickly on our feet, to be able to work with each individual client based on what struggles they were having, and we were able to come up with solutions to help each client through this, as well as us as an organization. We just had to make decisions on the fly, work with our advertisers, some that we've had for almost 20 years, and very fortunate to be in a community where the city government, the people, leaders, business owners, or just wanting to come together and help each other through this, because everybody was going through the same issues, and some worse than others, like you said, the hospitality industry, and they're still reeling from that. So we came together. We learned a lot from each other, a lot of late evenings, and being able to accommodate each of our advertisers, because if we have no advertisers, then there's no us.
Well, that's right, and it was kind of a vicious cycle. Is even though a lot of businesses were closed, by ceasing any advertising or connection with your public, you may be doing more harm than good. So you had to not only stay connected, but you had to be creative in how you were being connected.
Exactly, and it's important to note that turning off the advertising faucet, cutting it completely off, is a mistake, especially during these times. So in communicating with our clients, we changed their message. Instead of it being more come into our office, it's more about what are we doing to be safe? What's the message here for the residents, their patients, to feel comfortable coming in, to thank them for thank their clients for their loyalty. So the advertising message was a little different over those 3, 4, 5 months out of the year, to keep their message relevant and in front of the reader.
Yeah, a lot of businesses had to kind of redefine who they are and what they were doing.
That's
I know
right.
a lot in the restaurant business. A lot of them said, we're not closing our doors, and what we're going to do is we're just going to have curbside service.
Exactly.
You can still call us and order, and we'll have. So that translates into, how do I inform the public of that? And through through advertising and interacting with you and your people, it allowed an awful lot of our businesses to remain open, just kind of redefined and repurposed.
Absolutely.
And did you say that you also interact a lot with like chambers of commerce and other networking groups and all to keep that networking flow going all the time?
Absolutely. The job is more about being visible and present and engaging in the community, not only with our advertisers, but the chamber, city council, police, fire, friend of the community.
Yeah, and that's very evident in the editorial content that's in the magazine each month, because it doesn't have a narrow focus. You've got a very, very broad focus for the magazine. It's not just information. It's not political. It's not just all just newsy. I mean, folks, you got to check this magazine out, because you got everything from recipes every month to interviews with individual people to what's going on in the community. You also have a side publication too that's Faces of Frisco.
Yes,
you publish every year, and that's really kind of highlighting the creme de la creme in our community.
Exactly.
And now, you're involved with that publication also?
Yes, we publish that once a year, and that mails middle of October every year. So we produce 12 issues of the magazine and Faces of Frisco, so 13 production cycles throughout the year.
Is this something?
Non-stop.
Is this? Yeah. I mean, you're always in go mode. And by the way, having said that, generally don't publications have to work like a month or two in advance?
That's correct. We're actually working on July and August, and sometimes even September in a week or so, as we get ready to mail the July edition at the end of this month. That's being wrapped up now, and our editorial team has the stories and editorial assigned for the August issue. So those are written about 45 days in advance.
So while we're all thinking about what we're going to do on the 4th of July, you guys are already looking at Labor Day.
Yes, it's interesting when we get into August, September. We're at Thanksgiving, Christmas.
Yeah. My wife and I were in the retail business for 40 years, and it was the same thing. In dead of winter, we were in the market buying summer goods, and then the summer we were buying sweaters and long sleeve goods for the stores. You were always 6 months in advance. Kind of sometimes like today it's 90s plus degrees outside, and you guys are starting to think about what's going to happen in the fall when the leaves start falling off the trees.
That's right. That's right.
And the articles and the recipes and all of that goes along with it. Absolutely.
And some of the photography that we have to plan sometimes a year out if we're wanting to capture snow and ice or that kind of scenery. It may not happen this year, but it happened last year. So we make sure that to take photos and archive those in case they're needed for the following year.
Is it something that you just see in the movies, or do you guys actually have like a boardroom where you all get together once a week or whatever, and you sit and you hash out ideas and talk about what's going to go into the next issue?
Very, very formal process. No, I'm just kidding. We as a team collectively get together every Friday morning. It's our way of getting everybody together. Our creative team, sales, photography, and everybody goes around the room to discuss what's going on in their world, where we are on the issue, what photography needs to be done, what articles need to be read and approved, what clients we have that may be coming in after deadline, to give everybody a heads up that we may need to reserve the space for them. So no, every Friday morning, 9 a.m., usually about 2.5, 3 hours, we're able to get together and very informally talk about those kind of things, as well as story ideas that we get from our our readers, from our advertisers, non-advertisers, and we take those ideas, and then we try and define the scope. Is this a good fit for a good read for the community? And then we slate it depending on what the story is. It's probably going to be 2-3 months out, and then we define it. We know that this family article, for example, is slated for October.
So now how does that translate to you and to your advertising staff? Is when you're sitting, you're talking about all these articles and everything, is that where the whistles and bells go off in your head and say, hey, listen, if we're going to be talking about this kind of food, then we need to maybe reach out to these kinds of restaurants and also see if they want to get involved with advertising?
No, that's part of it, but there's also some seasonality as well. When we're visiting with a prospective client, we don't want to put them in at a specific time that's good for us. We want to make sure that there's no seasonality, that it's the right time for them to come in. But there are instances where if you have, let's say, the December holiday issue, we have more retail businesses coming in that are wanting to advertise before the Christmas holiday.
And people are doing that more and more, so especially those brick and mortar stores, because they want to try and get to the people before the internet sites all get to them too. Show them what the latest goods are and try and get to that. And that, I think that's one thing that magazines can afford to the general public, and that is you draw upon those local mom and pop operated businesses and everything to draw in customers to them, because everybody is competing against the internet and all, but there's nobody on the internet that can do it like a locally run business.
That's right. And the relationships that you form with those people are just priceless. They become part of your family, your work family every single day.
Now, is this something that you went to school for and studied to be into marketing and market development?
I went to SMU, got my degree in finance and economics. As I got out of college, I was in the banking world in their operations department. Went through formal credit, became a lender, and so that aspect of the job is very sales related. And I've lived in Frisco for 26 years now, so I've been fortunate to have some very loyal and long-time relationships on the banking side that have translated into the magazine side as well.
And how long have you been with Frisco Style?
11 years.
11 years.
11 years.
And we've been here about 8. So you have seen those same dramatic changes.
Seen it all.
When you started working with Frisco Style, and about that same time we moved here, we were 75,000 people, and there was an awful lot of open land all around us. And now here we are, about 8 years later, and 11 years later for you. Whoa!
my umbrella fell. Now I have a shade. That's all right.
Well, pick it up and hold it over you.
There we go. That sun feels good, actually.
Or you'll end up getting a nice tan. And by the way, you are at the office.
I am at the office.
Look at that, folks.
Look at that.
That's I mean, just it's tough, but somebody's got to do it, right?
Got to do it.
So
always the sales guys.
Now, do you have some of those meetings out there on the veranda?
Sometimes we do. Most of the time, we like to go to the client's place of business to learn more about what they do, who they are, and be able to understand their model, their mission, and what their marketing objectives are. And it helps to be in that environment. And that's one of the great things about this job is being able to learn various industries and the fundamentals of how they work. If there's seasonality on the family law side, or the retail, hospitality. So not only the people, but the learning a lot about the industries by being present there and walking there and being visible there as well.
Yeah, the beauty of a printed publication is that there's no limit or to the kind of advertising that you can have. You can have advertising from the retail field, the medical field, the insurance field, service industries,
Right.
and all there. It's a matter of who does that magazine reach, and of course, your magazine reaches the heart of the community. And beyond. So it isn't like, well, this is an upscale publication that only goes to people making $500,000 and more. So it's going to be right for Maserati and, the high-end automobile dealerships to
Everybody.
advertise. It's a down-to-earth publication. And folks, if you are in the Frisco area and you have not seen the Frisco Style magazine, grab the issue, especially this current issue with Mayor Masso. It's just a phenomenal article, and there's also some other great articles that are in there. So, tell the audience and refresh my memory. What is the process when you reach out and you have this potential advertiser? You sit down in their office and you talk a little about their business, and they say, you know what, I think that this might be a good fit and all. What's the next process for me as a business owner to get my ad into Frisco Style magazine?
Well, once we determine how we're a good fit as a media partner, because sometimes we're just not a good fit for people, or they're not a good fit for us. So once we establish terms and conditions, meaning ad size, the number of months they want to advertise in the magazine, we put together we call an insertion order, an ad agreement. Client signs off on it, and then from there, our creative team steps in and discusses with the client what creative are we going to create for that specific issue of the magazine, or if they have somebody in house or an agency that can provide the creative that works for us as well. So we're able to do all the creative for the client, be their out-of-house agency, if you will, at no cost to them, and have provide that value add.
So you're talking about developing the copy, and then you
Correct.
also do photography if they want
layout. I'm going to put this umbrella back up because
okay, and
Mary Poppins here.
Doing logo development, perhaps, or
yes.
or maybe
much better.
Maybe the client already has workable art that they have from an ad agency that they can give to you, and then you can just reformat it to fit into the size ad that they want.
That's right.
Yeah, and that's always good because as a former business owner, my wife and I had had good ideas, I think, of how we wanted to advertise. But very often, if we were going into a magazine or into the newspaper, it was always very refreshing to find a creative team that would come up and say, "Hey, your ads are really good, and I followed your ads, but I'd like to throw a couple of bones at you. I want to show you a couple of things that I think, based on our readership, might enhance the product that you have to sell."
That's right. And we have a great design and creative team that does exactly that, asking the right questions and tailoring their ad to what, from our experience, we know is the right creative for them to put out. And I'll just give you an illustration of some of our medical practices are adamant on advertising how beautiful their waiting room is. Well, it's great to them, but at the same time, a reader, your audience, doesn't want to see an empty, beautiful waiting room. They want to form a connection with whoever the practitioner is, the physician in this case, and learn more about them, not just what a wonderful waiting room they have.
That's a very, very good comment that you make, because I've always been a little wary of that myself when I do go through magazines. And you're right. Attorney's office also shows them sitting on the desk with their fist under their chin and all for that position and status and all. No, I want to see in your ad, what kind of law do you do? What do you offer? What are your hours? What's your phone number? How do I reach you?
Right. Credentials.
Exactly.
Areas of practice.
Where did you receive your degree, and what specialized areas are you in? Just like the restaurants, a photo of the restaurant. Yeah, that's okay. But are you open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner? And what hours?
Right.
Do you offer carry out and delivery? Those are the kind of things that you want to know.
That's right.
That's pretty cool. I've always been kind of a creative person myself. Obviously, with this show, I like to create those things too, and that's an important aspect of getting your message across to people. Now, you mentioned you went to SMU. Are you a native Texan?
Grew up in South Florida. Born and raised. I was born in Miami. Grew up in Hollywood, Florida. Moved up here to go to school at SMU, and upon graduation, stayed in Dallas. Made some great connections, and been here since. So,
and there's another aspect to George and I, and that is that we are neighbors.
Yes.
We live in the same community, and we see each other on the paths. When I'm walking my little cockapoo, and he's walking his two doggies, Snuffy and Axel. What breed are Snuffy and Axel?
Axel, we'll start with Axel. He is a sheepadoodle, so he's a old English sheepdog poodle. Everything's a doodle these days, right?
Yeah, right.
Snuffy, he's a rescue, and he's part doodle. He didn't feel comfortable signing the consent, so that's all he would allow me to say about him. And he's 13 years old, so older brother, younger brother.
Yeah, you had and Snuffy's about half the size of Axel. When you say that Axel is a sheepadoodle, when I see you and Axel out on the path, it's a question of who's walking who.
That's right.
Because I think that sheepadoodle of yours thinks he's a Siberian husky.
He has a thing every night when I get home. It's brings the ball and just paws at you. It's time to get out and throw the ball and chase it, and then jumps in the pool and you got to dry him off. It's a whole process to it. It's not as easy as it seems on the trail.
So in other words, when you come home and you say to the dogs, you know what, Dad's a little tired today. I'm just going to sit down and have a cold drink or whatever. That ain't going to fly, huh?
No, it's consistent pestering. It's just like having a little kid. I'll just paw at you until you give in. So it's best to just do it right when you get home to get it out of the way. But I love the time with him and be able to train him on chasing the ball, catching it. He does a good job and attracts sometimes quite an audience.
How old is Axel?
He's 3.
Oh, he's 3.
21. He's legal.
He's 3 and Snuffy is 13.
I believe. Yeah.
Yeah. And Snuffy was okay when you brought Axel onto the scene?
There's a photo that I have in my phone of the day Axel came home, and I'll have to show it to you. It's Snuffy has a very disgusted look on his face, like what the hell is happening in my life now?
Yeah, like can we talk about this?
Yeah, nobody discussed it with me.
Right. I didn't get my stamp of approval.
That's right.
But they get along. They get along well.
They do. It's brought Snuffy out of his shell, and they have that big brother little brother relationship. Bug one another. Take your bone, eat your food.
You ever bring them to work?
Yeah. Bring. There's 4 or 5 of us that have dogs, and we'll bring them on occasion. They'll run out together. Hence, again, the problem is when I have Axel here, it's a distraction because he wants to be in the backyard chasing the ball, getting in the pool. Yeah. So on special occasions, he gets to come out.
So what else do you do? What else do you do for fun? What you got? Any hobbies?
I love to run. Clears my mind at the end of the day. I love detailing my car. As you've seen, that's very relaxing to me as well. Enjoy going out to different restaurants, watching sporting events, long walks on the beach, those kind of things. Sort of traveling, that's what everybody says, right? Long walks on the beach, traveling.
Right. Well, and that could lead to an advertiser too.
That's right. You never know.
And okay, I'm gonna throw an obvious question at you. What's your favorite food, George?
That's an easy one. Luigi's Pizza.
Pizza. I think you're a connoisseur of pizza.
I've been going there since they opened 13, 14 years ago. Great family that owns it. Best New York pizza in Frisco, in my opinion. They're located there at Preston and Lebanon in the Tom Thumb Shopping Center.
Yes, and by the way, they are an advertiser in Frisco Style magazine.
They are. They've been with us for almost 11, 12 years.
So did you become a customer of theirs, or did they become a customer of yours first?
I was a customer there first.
And then you said, "Hey, you guys got really good pizza. We ought to tell more people about it." So
that's right. That's right. They're a great family. If you read the magazine every month, they pretty much keep the same ad, same creative, because it just becomes so entrenched in your mind, the number of impressions that the reader gets. And once you walk in there and have their food and service, that's why you go back.
Well, and this is what we were talking about earlier, about the fact that they are, pizza is pizza. There's a million pizza places, but there are the national brands, which you can kind of take or leave, and there are those independent mama papa run pizzerias, and generally you will find that once you have one of their pizzas, you say, where have I been? The other names can't compete. There's just something about when your name is over the door, you are going to give that extra bit of customer service to your customer, and it's not costing you much more at all.
Exactly. And they make everything from scratch, and you walk in there in the mornings or evenings, you can smell the marinara sauce being made. It's just a great environment.
And that's a good point, because it's not out of a can. It is freshly made.
Yes.
Their meats, their sausage, their pepperoni is like, incredible. It has a completely different flavor. So you've put them on the map, I think.
Good people when they, it's a great restaurant when not only the food is great, but the people are consistently friendly. They get to know your name, what you eat, what you drink, and just provide that upper echelon level of friendly part of the family service that just once you want to go back for the food and the people.
So is that kind of the focus that you and your team have in reaching out to current advertisers and potential advertisers, is to kind of focus a little bit more on the independent businesses that are in the area? Or is it a mix of the like, for instance, when we mention the law firms or the insurance companies, going after some of those major players also?
Right. Both ends of the spectrum. We have some national accounts through agencies. We have small retailers that are mom and pop. We have some national law firms, some regional insurance carriers as well as national insurance carriers, Geico being one of them, and Thomas Rush Germania Insurance, which I'm sure independent agent that's been in Frisco for probably 30 plus years.
Mhm.
So you develop those friendships, those relationships throughout the years, and those are just very special people.
And also, I might say too that people that are watching and listening to the show, if you are in a business or your business is representative of a major business, that are there still opportunities? Say I'm an independent insurance agent and all, but I work with a couple of insurance companies. Some of those insurance companies will pick up all or part of the cost of that advertising.
Right, and that's one of the questions that we ask is what co-op money is available, because if you have the specific carrier that you're going to advertise, that carrier will subsidize the cost of the advertising through co-op dollars, and a lot of clients are very good about that. Some didn't even know that they could get co-op dollars, and we kind of walk them through the process on how to do that and market their message to take advantage of those co-op dollars.
Yeah, and it's something that we did in our retail businesses. If we had clothing lines that said we'll pay half of the ad if you feature our clothing in the ad.
That's right.
That meant that I could either do twice as much advertising, or instead of having that little business card side ad, maybe I could go into a quarter page or a half page.
That's right.
And if those are, you watching and listening, you are in a business, or you have family members or know people that are in business, and you say, gee, I didn't know that, reach out to George and his team at Frisco Style Magazine, because there may be great opportunities for you to advertise with not a lot of it coming out of your pocketbook. It could be subsidized with co-op money from your suppliers.
Right. That's what we tell our clients is media is the way you communicate with your clients.
What was the last year and a half like as far as a readership for the magazine, and what were some of those advertising challenges that you saw? You said that you weren't impacted as badly as some businesses were, but did you see over that last year and a half during COVID that there were some times you sat down and wow, we got to retune this plan of ours?
We did, and as a matter of fact, one of the positive that came out of it, we've had the print platform for 26 years now, and last year during COVID, we came together and put together a digital platform of the magazine. So we're able to offer clients a digital presence, social media presence, and a print presence as well. So the digital edition, same content as the print magazine, same editorial content. There are just some clients that want the digital presence, and some want to be still in the print magazine. And so being able to offer that platform benefited a lot of clients, and captured some more of the retail, restaurant, hospitality that have been wanting to be part of the Frisco Style brand, and digitally was a better fit for them. So we're able to accommodate that as well.
Yeah, for the advertisers, it gave them an opportunity to expand their message to a broader audience also.
That's right.
And I would think also to a younger audience, because it seems like the younger generations have a tendency to want to do more and more digitally, and all. Then those like in my age category, we're the ones that like to still sit down, open up our mailbox, and pull out our magazine and sit down in our easy chair and go page by page.
Right.
So what do you see then as like the future for a publication like yours? Do you see it expanding more digitally too, but you'll continue to put the ink on the paper?
Our community is it's very different. With having the brand and the magazine for 26 years, there are times younger generation and older generation that want something tangible to hold on to and read. because there are times when we're on our phone and we're trying to read an article on CNN or FriscoStyle.com and get a call or a text message or a Facebook notification. There's a lot of interruptions going on with your phone. Then you get distracted and go down this rabbit hole, and you never finish the article. And having something tangible to be able to read and hang on to and feel with your hands and be able to not be attuned to your phone is very valuable, and it's still very very relevant.
Chris Johnson is your publisher.
Yes.
What kind of guy is he?
Words can't express how what a wonderful and great giving, caring individual he is.
And I mean, I would expect you to say that, but I happen to know Chris, and I've met him on several occasions. And again, he is also one of those people that is very interested in almost anybody he meets. Doesn't matter whether it's the owner of the Dallas Cowboys or it's a guy that owns a little coffee shop around the corner. He's interested in people, and he's a truly a nice guy. And I would imagine that when you have somebody at the helm like that, it's easier to bring all of the spokes in the wheel together to make it spin properly. No,
absolutely. The everybody here is empowered to do their job. We have a great team here, and we're hired to not be micromanaged. We're hired to know what our job is, when to get it done. There's no babysitting going on. Everybody has their job to do, and we do it as best as we can every single issue. And as a matter of fact, he's the one I went to. We went to the Indy 500 together. He invited me to see the race and spend some time with his brother there in the middle of the woods in Indianapolis, Indiana. So it was a great time.
You were there this year?
Yes, this year
for the Indy 500.
Yeah.
When Helio Castroneves won it again.
Spider-Man.
Yeah. My sister was working there. She lives in the Indianapolis area, and she has been on the staff of the Indy 500 for many years.
Oh wow!
And loves it. So she's right in there.
In there.
She also worked at Lucas Oil Stadium for the NCAA playoffs. So she was right there mid-court for when Baylor won the national championship.
That's a great job to have.
Talk about being lucky in a right place at the right time.
Absolutely, be able to be front and center to those kind of sporting events is the way to do it.
Absolutely, and I know that those are the kinds of things that very often you will have featured in your magazine is what the local sports scene is all about. I think that your calendar of events every month, which I'm sure takes an awful lot of time from your staff to put that together every month, but is probably one of the most concise calendar of events month after month that there is for people. And we live in a destination area where people are coming in and need to know, well, where what's there to do and where can I go? Pick up a copy of your publication, and you've got everything for the whole month.
That's right.
And that's probably got an awful lot of time is involved in putting that all together too.
Yeah, being able to accommodate the space and being able to manage those events it's a challenge, but we have a great team that puts that together every single issue.
Well, likewise with your business directory too, because that's always a great go-to area for people to connect with other businesses in the area. Hey, George, it's been great spending some time with you.
Likewise, neighbor. Thank you for the invite and allow me to be on your platform and discuss not only business but our personal friendship and our interactions with our pups together. So that's good. That's good stuff, and I really appreciate you very much.
Well, Frisco Style Magazine is the publication, and FriscoStyle.com is their website. Go in, check it out, and all. I guarantee it's a wonderful publication. My regards to Chris Johnson. Tell him that I said hello.
Thank you.
And that'll do it for another edition of Someone You Should Know. As I always say, go out and be yourself because everyone else is taken.
That's right.
We'll catch you again right here next week. Take care.
Take care, Stuart.